Recently I've started making reactions to Canada, all things Canada, whether it's history, culture, food, places in Canada, and I'm really enjoying that journey and education so far. As I mentioned on previous videos, and you'll know I'm from the UK, but have a great respect for Canada. I feel like Canada and the UK, and especially Scotland, we have this great connection. And for me, it's just a great thing to actually learn more about Canada, have this channel, and use it productively to learn as much as I can. And what I thought would be pretty an interesting idea was to set a Canada quiz. I found this one online. Is can you pass this Canadian general knowledge quiz? And I thought I'd probably be best to do this at the start of this journey, just to see what sort of level my education is. Obviously, I'm not going to know pretty much anything about Canada apart from what I've learned in the previous videos. But I thought this would be a good test, and maybe like in 3 months or 6 months I can do another one and see if I've actually learned a lot. I thought it would be quite an interesting idea. So yeah, let's just check this one out. Can you pass this Canadian general knowledge quiz? I'll maybe put the link in the description so you can try it as well. So if you're from Canada, you can see if you can pass it. So yeah, start quiz, here we go. So what two colours are Canada's flag? I mean, that one is very easy, red and white. And the thing I learned about the Canada flag, which I found very interesting, is the actual meaning of it. So the red is to represent the blood that has been shed by like soldiers in Canada's kind of military history and things like that. So pay huge respect to those people. And the white is for peace. So it's actually like a bit of a contradiction of flag, but it's a good balance. And you have that, obviously, that kind of very iconic maple leaf in the middle. So red and white, correct. Maple leaf, yeah. So maple leaf is to represent the maple trees that the country is well known for. What is the capital of Canada? Now, before I actually made this channel and reacted to videos, I might have actually thought it was Toronto, but after watching these videos I learned it's Ottawa. And Ottawa is another place that seems very interesting to me. Like, I only have seen videos showing like the city itself just to see pictures of it, and it looks like a cool place because it mixes two things that Canada's like all about, which is the French culture and the sort of English speaking culture. You see that in the architecture of the buildings there. That's a place I want to explore a bit more with this channel, so I'll definitely be making more reactions about Ottawa. But Ottawa, yeah, is the capital. It's located in Ontario. It's located in the province Ontario, but it's not the capital of the province. That one I never knew. So Toronto's the capital of Ontario, even though Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Interesting. Who is Canada's head of state? Head of state? The Queen. So I don't actually, I feel like obviously Canada has a prime minister, but is that the head of state? This is going to actually show my lack of intelligence, probably. I know the Queen, I know Canada is still part of the monarchy, is it? I'm going to say the Queen. Yeah, that was lucky. I know they have a prime minister, Trudeau. Tell me what you think about Trudeau. But yeah, Queen is still, I guess it's the King. It'll be King Charles soon after the Queen's death. But yeah, Queen Elizabeth is still the head of state for Canada. And again, another reason why I like that connection, or I feel that connection being British with Canada. Which topping is Canada well known for? Mustard, maple syrup, sweet and sour sauce, barbecue sauce. And I like all of them, but I especially like maple syrup. I've mentioned that on previous videos as well. Whether I have French toast, pancakes, and anything sweet, put maple syrup on it and increase that sweetness level, man. I just love maple syrup. I've loved it since I was a child. Yeah, maple syrup, man. Being from Canada, you must absolutely love maple syrup. Tell me what you think about it. If you're from Canada, is there anybody from Canada that doesn't like maple syrup? How many official languages does Canada have? This one again, 14 is a bit crazy, but 2, English and French, I guess, is the correct answer. Although only 2 languages are official, there are countless languages spoken throughout the country. So what other languages are spoken? Is that from immigrants, or is that Maybe like the First Nations people, they have their own languages maybe as well. How many people live in Canada? This one I think is 35 million. Yeah, it must be, because actually I read a stat a couple of days ago when I was doing some further reading about Canada, that 20% of the population of Canada are French speaking, so it was about 7 million people. Yes, it's very small population compared to the landmass. That's true. So yeah, I was actually, I think that's a reasonable number, but the size of Canada blows me away with how little the population is. The fact that so much of it's very desolate is just very interesting to me. What animal is on the Canadian nickel? Okay, a beaver, a moose, a seal, or a bear. Now I know the only one there I know that has relevance to Canada, I believe, is a beaver. I remember seeing, I think is that the national animal of Canada? I think so. I don't think it would be a seal or a bear. A moose? No, I think a beaver. Okay, a beaver, a beaver is on the Canadian nickel. The beaver is the national symbol of Canada. Did you know that Canadian nickels that are produced today have nickel plating? Oh, that's cool. What animals on the Canadian quarter? Okay, beaver, wolf, fox, and caribou. Okay, this is kind of thrown me, because if beaver's on there, I don't think beaver would be on another coin, but maybe this is a trick question. The only one that I don't think it would be a wolf or a fox, would it? But a caribou, I don't even know what that is, but because that's there, it seems like the odd one out. I'm just going to use I'm going to go for caribou. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. I just thought it seemed a bit unlikely, or it seemed the only one that stands out there has been a bit of a weird one to put in, but I never knew I don't know what it is. It's a caribou. Canada might be well known for the moose, or also known for the moose, but the caribou is one of many animals in the country. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll need to Google that and check that out. Which province is home to the most people who have French as a first language? Again, maybe before I made this video I might not know, but I believe it's Quebec. I believe Quebec is the French speaking part of Canada. Yeah, it's home to the most people who have French as a first language as well. New Brunswick also has a large population of people who speak French as a first language. And that's the thing that interests me about Canada. It's not just that French and English are both common, but French is the first language. Pretty cool. Who was Terry Fox? So I just made a reaction to Terry Fox. So just lucky I actually watched that. I wouldn't have had any clue. I might have even said something like Prime Minister, but he was an athlete, an activist, and just a true Canadian hero. Let's see, he ran across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Unfortunately he passed away in 1981, but an absolute hero, someone who just, his life blew me away. Such a young guy doing something so brave and inspiring millions of people still to this day. Great. Which of the following actors are Canadian? Mike Myers, I think, is Canadian. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep. That's quite easy. Mike Myers, I know obviously because of Austin Powers, and he played a Scottish character in one of them as well. And I remember just hearing a bit about his background. I believe he's Canadian. Maybe I'm going to be wrong here. Yeah, he is. Okay, he was born in Scarborough, Ontario. Oh yeah, I forgot he's Shrek as well. Yeah, that's true. And Austin Powers. What is the Canadian version of the Super Bowl called? Okay, I didn't know Canada had its own Super Bowl. So does Canada have a Canada Football League or something, or its own American football or Canadian football? I don't know. Canadian Super Bowl, the Game of the Year, the Grey Cup, the Northern Cup. Okay, I think I'm going to I've never heard of this either, so I'm just going to go the Canadian Super Bowl. The Game of the Year sounds more like a nickname for an event. The Grey Cup and Northern Cup, got no idea what they could be. Okay, it's the Grey Cup. Canada's version of the Super Bowl is known as the Grey Cup. Similar to the Super Bowl, there's a halftime show which features a Canadian artist most times. So is this American an American Football League in Canada that does that? Maybe I'll need to check out more about that as well. What sport was invented in Canada? Hockey, football, dodgeball, and basketball. Again, just lucky I've already reacted to some videos, because I actually found out basketball I think it's basketball was invented in Canada. Yeah, it was. That one shocked me. Like, basketball is so synonymous with the USA, of course. Of course, Canada has teams like the Toronto Raptors, I believe it is. Maybe if that's still a team, but basketball was invented in Canada. Yeah, it was really shocked me actually. What is Canada's northernmost city? Okay, here this is going to be a difficult one. Alert, Regina, Moose Jaw. No, that's just a cool name if that's a real place. Quebec City. Okay, so I don't think it's Quebec City. Alert. I remember seeing the name Alert somewhere on one of these previous videos, I think. The other ones I've never heard of. Moose Jaw, just a great name, but I'm going to go for Alert. Yeah, Alert. Nunavut is Canada's most northern city. City has a population of just over 60 people. The Canadian Forces stations here. Wow, 60 people. Yeah, I feel like I've seen that name on one of the previous videos. How many territories are in Canada? Okay. This one I have no idea. Territories, I don't think I've seen this mentioned in any previous video. How many territories? Is that the same as a province? How many provinces? I think, is it 12 or 8? Okay, now I've come, I don't really know. I'm going to say, because I think a province is different from a territory, but I don't know actually. 8. There's 3 territories in Canada. The 3 territories are the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Okay, maybe I've actually seen something like that in one of the other videos I watched, but that's interesting to learn actually. I feel bad getting that one wrong. What is the largest province in okay, so province is different from territory. So what is the largest province in Canada by area? I believe it's Quebec. Is Quebec the largest? Nunavut. So Nunavut is also a territory. British Columbia, Alberta. Okay, this one again I don't know. I'll be kind of guessing, but I think it's Quebec. Yeah, largest province. But if you include territories, Quebec falls second to Nunavut. Okay, I need to do more research on Nunavut actually. What do most Canadians call a winter hat? A beanie, a toque, a bunny hug, or a warm hat? Okay, in the UK, I think we sometimes call like a winter hat is a beanie. I don't think it'll be the same. I don't think it'll be warm hat. That seems too simple. A toque, a bunny hug. A bunny hug just sounds interesting. Maybe I'll just go for beanie because I know that Canada has similar language to the UK. As a toque. Okay, most Canadians call a winter hat a toque. In America, the word beanie is often used to describe the same hat. Don't forget your toque when going out in the cold. So, interesting where a lot of the language in Canada usually follows the UK, but in this instance, America follows beanie as well. So, a toque. Where would you find red deer? Okay, again, something I have no idea. Red deer, Yukon, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, or Alberta. Again, I have no idea, but I feel like Newfoundland for some reason. I know it's a bit more desolate. Is that fair to say? I'm going to go for it. Okay, it's Alberta. Red Deer is located in the province of Alberta. The city has a population of 100,000 people. Got its name from the Cree peoples. Okay, interesting. Learn something else. Who represents the Queen in Canada? The Governor General, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Immigration, or nobody? Okay, I don't think it's the Prime Minister. I don't think it's the Minister of Immigration. The Governor General or nobody? Maybe it's nobody these days because Canada is basically its own country. I don't really think, unless it's the yeah, I'm going to go nobody. Is the Governor General? I should have went for that. The Governor General represents the Queen of England in Canada. Yeah, it's part of the Commonwealth. Yeah, that was the other one. Yeah, just 50-50. I just had a guess there. Okay, now we're going to find out what a bunny hug is. A pastry, a snowfall, a hug, a hoodie. Okay, I don't think it's a hug. I think that's too obvious. Snowfall could be like white snow, like a bunny. A pastry or a hoodie. I feel like because they mentioned bunny hug with the hat earlier, that it's going to be a piece of clothing, so I think it might be a hoodie. A bunny hug. It is. That is just. I'm just taking a bit of a guess based on the question that I got previously with the hat. So a bunny hug is a hoodie. The name is most commonly used in Saskatchewan and only became popular when hoodies became trendy. It's not very common in other areas of Canada. Okay. What day is Canada Day? Okay, this one I have no idea. This one I feel like probably I should have learned on one of the videos, but I've not seen it. So when would Canada Day be? It would be probably their Independence Day, I guess. Again, no idea when that is. I just going to guess July. Oh, that is just luck. Canada Day is a celebration of the day Canada became a country. The British North America Act was signed in 1867. 150th birthday in 2017. Cool, so it'll be about 156 this year then. Okay, what treat is Canada well known for? Beaver tails, gingerbread cookies, ice cream cake, and cake pops. Okay, they do all sound. I don't know what a beaver tail is. I think maybe I could go for beaver tail because gingerbread cookies are very tasty. That's one of my favourite biscuits actually. Ice cream cake and cake pops. Beaver. I'm going to go for beaver tails. Yeah, because I've heard of all three of the other ones and I've never heard any sort of connection with Canada for them. Beaver tails I've never heard of before, so just that was a wild guess again. It's well known for a treat called beaver tails. These tasty snacks look just like a beaver's tail. That makes sense. And it's a pastry that can be topped with many different types of candy and condiments. That actually sounds. Let me just Google this, man, and see what. Oh no, what am I doing? See if I can Google this and see if we can see what a beaver tail is. Oof, now that actually looks kinda good, man. That actually looks super good. Get so many different. I'll be definitely up for trying any of them, man. Got some nice apple and cinnamon there. Chocolate spread, nuts. Yeah, that actually looks awesome, man. I'll be up for that. Aside from hockey, what is Canada's other national sport? This one I know, lacrosse. Someone told me that hockey is Canada's winter sport. Lacrosse is Canada's summer sport. And lacrosse, again, is something I've seen. I always associated it with like American high schools. You see in high school movies like American Pie, they play lacrosse. I didn't realise it was a Canadian sport, but I guess the name lacrosse sounds kind of French, so that kind of makes sense. Maybe it originates from the French side of Canadian culture. So we've got lacrosse is, yeah, ice hockey is the official winter sport and lacrosse is the summer sport. Yeah, someone actually told me that. Who is Laura Secord? A heroine of war, the first female prime minister, the first governor general, and a famous actress. So I don't think she's an actress. I've never heard that name. A heroine of war, could be. I feel like the first female prime minister for some reason. I don't actually know if I didn't actually know Canada had a female prime minister actually, but that is my guess. It was a heroine of war. Maybe Canada had a female prime minister yet actually. She was a war hero in 1813. She walked 32 kilometres to warn the British troops of an American attack she overheard in a conversation. Her journey helped the British troops to prepare and win a battle against the American troops. So I guess being British, we owe her a huge debt of gratitude. I've never heard of her name before, but great to know. Where would you get a double-double? Tim Hortons, Walmart, Canadian Tire, or McDonald's? Canadian Tire, I don't think so. I know Tim Hortons is a Canadian coffee shop. Walmart and McDonald's, both American companies, I think. I'm going to go for Tim Hortons. Maybe it's like, yeah, so it's made from 2 teaspoons of milk and sugar, hence the name. Okay, so it'll be very milky and very sweet. I actually thought it would be like a double-double espresso or something like that, actually. Is it true or false that Canada is the second largest country in the world? That is true. Russia's the largest. Yeah, and obviously Canada has a far smaller population. How many times has Canada hosted the Olympics? Okay, I'm guessing this must mean the Winter Olympics. 10, 30, 3 and 15. I've got to say it must be 3. Can't imagine any countries held the Olympics more than as much as 10 times. Let's go for 3. Canada has hosted the Olympics 3 times. It has held the Summer Olympics in Montreal and the Winter Olympics twice, Calgary and Vancouver. Very cool. That's good to know actually. The Land of the Midnight Sun is a nickname given to what Canadian place? The Northwest Territories, Ontario, Saskatchewan, or New Brunswick. Okay, the Land of the Midnight Sun would suggest to me that it's somewhere very north, because obviously at certain times of the year, like the north of the earth is sunny all day. So I'm going to say maybe the Northwest Territories. Northwest Territories, actually, maybe somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to go for Northwest. Yeah, Northwest Territories, often called the Land of the Midnight Sun. This is because at certain times of the year the sun will be up all night long. It's also used for other places in the world. Yeah, sometimes I hear like places in Scandinavia or have a similar thing where it's sunny all for 24 hours, I think, during the summer. How many provinces? Okay, now here we go. This is the question. So this one, I think, is it 8 or 10? But that's the question. I don't think it's 2 or 20. 8 or 10. I feel like it was. Is it 10 actually? 8 or 10? I thought it was 10, man. Why you say I thought it was 10, but I never clicked. I obviously just never knew for definite. There are 10 provinces, so I know that definitely. I'm not going to forget that one. Who discovered Canada? Emily Carr, Nellie McClung, Jacques Cartier, Lester B. Pearson. I feel like Jacques Cartier, I've heard the name in one of the videos before. I think it might be Jacques Cartier. Yeah, it was discovered in Canada in 1534, so a huge history. He also mapped part of the country around St. Lawrence River. Because of this, he's often considered the founder of the country. Excellent. What board game was invented in Canada? Scrabble, Monopoly, Snakes and Ladders, or Trivial Pursuit? Wow, 4 games that are hugely popular and very well known all over the world. This will be interesting. I don't know the answer. Monopoly, I don't know. Snakes and Ladders, Scrabble. This one is a complete guess. I think it could be Scrabble. No, it's Trivial Pursuit. A really good game, actually. Trivial Pursuit was invented in Canada, made by Chris and John Haney and Ed Werner in Montreal. The game's a huge success worldwide. What kind of act does Canada have? An Apology Act, a Timbits Act, a Purchase Act, or a Maple Act? I think Apology Act is just too obvious as a joke. Timbits Act, I just don't think it can be. I know that's what it said in Tim Hortons. It's like a little cake thing, or little cake things you can get there. A Purchase Act, don't know what that be. I'm going to go for Maple Act. I just hope it is. I know that I seen in one of the videos that Canada has huge reserves of maple syrup. Is that what? Maple Act. I'm going to go Maple. They actually have an Apology Act. Canadians are known for using the word sorry frequently. The province of Ontario passed the Apology Act so that even if it was proven that you say sorry in court, it would not make you any more guilty. That is fantastic. I never knew. Is it true or false that Santa is a Canadian citizen? Now, this one I did see in a video, and I believe this is true. I feel like some Scandinavian countries are going to have arguments over that, but yeah, there we go. He's a Canadian citizen by the Minister of Citizenship, Immigration and Multiculturalism. This is because Santa makes his home in the North Pole, although this part of the world is not said to belong to anyone. That's true. What sport is Canada well known for? Hockey, football, tennis and badminton. That one, hockey, got to be. That's one reason I started this channel, because I have another channel doing like American reactions. I was doing ice hockey reactions, really love that sport, and a lot of people were asking me to make reactions to Canada, so I thought I'll just make another channel and just use this purely to learn about Canada. What are the snowbirds? Military planes, a flock of eagles, a political party, and Canadians who take a trip to the Arctic. Okay, I don't think it's Canadians who take a trip to an Arctic. Political party, flock of eagles. I feel like it might be military planes. Maybe they're like some sort of white military plane that's used in the Arctic or something like that. It is. The snowbirds are military planes that put on air shows around the country. They are especially present on Canada Day when they do their annual flyby of Parliament Hill. That is interesting as well. Got 26 out of 35. Actually, I felt like I got a lot right there. I felt like I got more than that right, but 26 out of 35. happy with that. That's just my basic understanding of Canada. Some of that was just being smart with the answers based on the previous questions and that sort of thing. Some of it was just guesses, and some of it was based on the videos I've already reacted to, what I've learned so far. But am I happy? It's probably about 66. Is that about two-thirds of it right? Yeah, I'm happy with it, man. I can't be disappointed with that. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me if you think I did good or bad. Tell me what I should be learning next about Canada. Happy about that, but yeah, really excited to learn more about Canada. Really loving it. It's such an interesting country. Every part of it, whether it's the geography, the culture, history, cuisine, everything is interesting me a lot. So can't wait to continue on my journey of education about Canada. And yeah, enjoyed this one. Thanks.